I'm live. Hi. What's up, everybody? My name is LA. My channel is Live Well LA, where we go through a lot of leveling up. I talk about relationships, reevaluating your life, what success looks like in your life, and growth and redirection if that's needed. So, I hope you enjoy my channel. I'm here with no makeup, a very fresh face, because I want to go out and have lunch. So, let's run the intro, and you all are going to get ready with me while I get ready for my little lunch session. I'll be right back after the intro. Yeah, Drake was patting you on the back. All the rappers. Hey, what's up? Back again. Hey, what's up? It's up to you to do the research. It's up to you. Hey. So, yeah, I'm here. I got the mic here. I hope the mic is close enough. If you can hear me, just drop some love in the comment section. I also want to thank you for joining me this Wednesday afternoon. I've had meetings all morning. I thought it was Thursday. Sometimes you just wake up, log in, look at your calendar, see what you got to do, and you don't even recognize what today is. So that is where I am this week. The week is not going by fast. Last week went by really, really fast. This week, not so much. Let me turn on the comments so I can make sure I see all of you. If you have something you want to add to the chat, I would love to hear from you. I need to get started. I did start one brow, but I was like, pause. Let me get ready with my girls because I need this time alone. Anyway, I might not make it, but we'll see. I need to do my brows, number one. I've already combed them out. I'm so proud of myself. I wish I could show y'all. I might be able to show y'all. I'm so proud of the way I've been able to organize my makeup drawer. And let me see if I can show y'all before we get started, because I'm going to do a get ready with me while we um, do the makeup. Uh-oh, it's coming out. It's coming out, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, now that I have it out, let me see if I just angle the camera down a bit. Yes. All right, let's see what we got. Doesn't that look so nice? Yes. Uh-oh. All right, let's bring the camera back up so you can see my pretty face once more. All right, projection. Uh-oh, not tight enough. There we go. All right. All right, let's get ready so I can be on time for my little lunch date. I want to finish my brows. Let's do that now. But the title of the video is Are You Friendly? And for my Facebookers, I said that the energy and love that I get from Black women really invigorates me. Like that lights up my day, lights up my life. And lately, I haven't been seeing that at all. I'm going to give you two instances that happened to me recently that made me concerned about Black women and our sisterhood, or if that is evaporating right before our very eyes. I was at a grocery store the other day, and there was a woman in front of me being rang out by the cashier who was a Black woman. The cashier was a Black woman. The woman in front of me in line being checked out was a Hispanic woman. And the Hispanic woman and what I'm assuming may be her sister were talking in Spanish. and she said, "Recito." And the woman was asking her, "Do you want the receipt in the bag?" And then the sister says, "Recito," to the woman checking out. So the cashier picked up on the conversation. She was like, "Oh, you call this recito? I'm learning Spanish." And they laughed together. And I mean, this Black woman behind the register who was putting the receipt in the bag or offering it to the customer was, her grin was like a Cheshire cat. She was ecstatic. She had built this rapport, this hearty laugh with these Hispanic women about recito. And I was like smiling because, you're in the proximity of the conversation. So you're like, "Oh, this is so funny. Haha." And you don't want to, seem like you're ignoring everything around you because you're so busy and you can't talk. The two Spanish women left. The woman was smiling so big. I got to her register. The smile faded. She did not say hello. She did not say, "How you doing?" She didn't say not one pleasantry to me. And I'm a woman that lives in a world where I'm very used to, "Girl, you look so pretty. You look so nice." Let me tell you, I go outside all the time and I get compliments. And I'm, even though I'm a person that has like anxiety, social anxieties, and I don't like to talk to everybody all the time, I still enjoy compliments, love, encouragement from all women, but in particular, Black women make me smile when they say, "Girl, you look pretty. I love your hair. I love your dress. Your makeup is nice. Who does you this? I like your nails. I like your sandals," whatever. I love compliments from Black women. One I got even recently was, I was getting into my car, leaving a department store, and a young woman, she was probably my age, she was like, "Girl, you are goals. I love this car. You are doing it, sis. I love this car and you look so nice." And I was like, really embracing her, like, "Thank you, thank you, thank you. Of course you could get one too. It's nothing. I know you could get one too. If this your dream car, you make it happen, even if it's for a short time. Go get your dream car so you can enjoy. Life's too short." Ah, da, da, da. I love having that type of rapport with Black women. So what I saw at the store with this recito Black woman who was behind the register was very offensive to me. Very offensive to me. So I left the store and I said, the one thing she did say to me was the amount and, "Do you want your receipt in the bag or with you?" Not a "have a good day." I think I ended up saying "have a good day." Nothing. She was unfriendly, but I don't put that on all Black women. I don't follow any tropes or stereotypes about my girls. So then an incident at work. We were having a broad kind of meeting. And in the meeting, there is a woman who, she's not kind to one person. And this person has expressed their political views in a short amount, right? And I don't know anything else about him. And I know that she doesn't either. He expressed his political views about government waste and Doge. And since that time, she has been like on this guy who we know nothing else about. And all he really expressed was, yeah, maybe there is some waste in government spending. People are getting Social Security checks they may not know anything about. I don't think any of us lay people have done extensive research on the history of the candidates that we are presented with when it comes time to vote for a candidate for president. I don't think any of us have. I think we are given information by the news media that we trust. We watch the debates and we think we know a lot about either side. I don't think we know enough about their history. How have you voted in the last 20 years? You've been in politics 20 years. Let's go back and track every vote. Were you against this or for this? Were you against whatever your stance is on political reform? Were you against whatever your stance is on immigration? Were you against whatever your stance is on government spending? None of us have gone back into the history of all the politicians we know to say we know enough about this person that we can align our lives, our morality, and everything else with this person. You don't. You don't. No Black women, none of the Black women that I know can tell me how Kamala Harris voted in every issue that's important to them. That's just not a thing in politics, right? And none of us would probably be even concerned with how she voted when she was the Attorney General, I think, of California. See, I don't even know what her position was. But there are people who will align themselves with their political party without any fact checking, without any history, just pop on the talking head news media that you want, and that's who you are, and that's who you vote for, and you know nothing more. So she has been really riding this person's back, which I think is completely unfair, regardless of who they voted for. I think it's completely unfair for you to be so nasty. If you don't want to talk to this person, don't talk to them. If you have no reason to engage, but you initiate engaging with this person, you make it a point to be kind of, what's the word? You try to, I don't want to say humble, not embarrass, but you try to maybe demean this person because I understand that this person does not have the same political views as you, but you don't know enough about him to do so. So I'm very offended by the way that this woman, a Black woman, talks to this man. It's not nice. And let me tell you, I'm a person, I live in gratitude. I live in being thankful for my position, the things that I have, what God blesses me with, my health, my child. I live in gratitude and I am always happy, always jovial, always trying to elevate the mood, make people feel good. And so when I see this woman who acts like this, I'm like, yo, what is the issue? And number two, it makes us look bad because that's just the world we live in. One Black woman's actions make everybody else look bad. It's just the thing with Black people. Anyone's negative interaction with a Black person, they lay that and spread it across the entire Black population. I can't fight that. That's not my battle. I know it's not true. But what I do also understand is that if you're a Black woman and you're performing like this at the workplace, how does that make the rest of us get promotions? When we go out for jobs, that bias is already on us that, damn, this girl's going to have an attitude because this one woman has an attitude. Every time she speaks, it's so demeaning and condescending. So I love and adore my sisters, period. But when you have someone that's always speaking in this condescending tone, this negative tone to other people around you, it makes you feel like, damn, girl, I may want to go for a promotion and they don't want to promote because you, the representative of Black women, because that's just how society is, you, the representative of Black women, always have this nasty attitude. Always. You can't speak to people as their equals. You always have this condescending tone, this overarching attitude for no reason. But of course, people are afraid to say that. People are 100% afraid to say that. She checked out of the meeting early at the beginning of the meeting, just ripping into this guy. Like, oh, I don't worry about things like that. We all have that same experience and that's not going to change. So I wouldn't worry about it if I were you. And that's exactly what it sounded like. It was exactly what it sounded like. And the guy is just like, oh, okay, yeah, I understand. But me, I'm on the other end of this call, like, my God, can you tone it down just a bit? And it's not even like fun, sassy, girl. It's not that. It is just absolute ripping into people where you are unbearable to me, another Black woman. So I asked the question on this video, are you friendly, or do we need to address what has hardened you? What has hardened you is valid, but how you show up is your responsibility. And that's the main focus of my video today, is how you show up. Because, girl, she's dragging the whole team down, and it is absolutely hard to deal with. Plus, the interaction that I spoke about earlier with the woman who was bringing up the groceries was like, how is this even possible? Why are you being so mean and unfriendly to me when I just saw that you have the ability to be a friendly person? I just saw you be friendly with the two Spanish women that left before me. And I was watching Jessie Woo's show yesterday, and Jessie Woo was talking about, she was talking to a guy that worked on Wildin' Out with her. I believe his name is Carlos Miller. And he said to her on set, that Black women's biggest op is Black women. And I'll tell you what else. My friend who I host a podcast with, if you're not following Bonnets and Bathrobes, we will be back, so don't worry. Be sure to follow Bonnets and Bathrobes. It is linked. It will be linked in the description box once the video has ended. She tells me all the time that you have to take off the rose-colored glasses, because the way Black women interact with each other, they're not friendly. They're not kind. And I'm like, no, of course they are. Of course we are. We look out for each other. No. And what else has convinced me that this is absolutely not true anymore is the way that Black women are piling on Cassie. And when I go into these comment sections and I see what's being said, I'm often still, even though everybody is warning me, I am often still shocked that some of these comments are coming from women. And I don't see a lot of non-Black people commenting on the Diddy trial. So when I say women, I'm definitely talking about Black women are the ones in the comments ragging on Cassie. And what is this conditioning? Have you been just taught that all Black women, especially if they're attractive, are gold diggers? Or even worse, are Black women conditioned to believe that Black women can't suffer abuse? Because if so, then you are exactly who white supremacy intends for you to be. And that scares me, because I'm a woman that thinks I am going to believe women. I'm going to believe women. And if that means if I have to take off my rose-colored glasses to stop believing women, I don't know if I can do that. So I think to live a better life, you have to recognize what has hardened you, and you have to surround yourself. I think the biggest thing is surrounding yourself with people who aren't afraid to tell you about you, which can be hard because, like the woman I was just describing earlier, who I work with, it is almost impossible to say to her, hey, you're absolutely wrong. This would not be a normal conversation. No matter the approach, that's the thing. No matter the approach, this is not a normal conversation you can have with this type of person. You can't live a better life if you're not open for correction. You can't live a better life if the people around you aren't free to tell you about yourself and your behavior. I think that's a huge thing to keep in mind, is that, my goodness, you're so hardened and so quick-tempered. You're so hardened and you're so quick-tempered that people don't feel safe talking to you about you. So how do you correct the problem? Number one, you have to let yourself be vulnerable. And I understand that people who act a certain way, they aren't really tough. This is usually a defense mechanism from some sort of trauma that has happened to them. People that have this horrible attitude and are unapproachable usually have this set up as a wall because of some trauma in which they've been hurt, abused, ignored, neglected, or abandoned. And that says a lot. So it also requires the person who wants to approach you and correct your behavior or give you some insight or some feedback, they have to also be gentle with this person who's already aggressive. And I hate to use that term because that's another stereotypical trope that people have assigned to Black women automatically. And I don't think I'm sensitive or overly sensitive or want to be performative in a world where there's a hierarchy of white is right, or political correctness, where you have to perform as a certain type of Black to be acceptable. No. I am pro-Black, especially pro-Black woman, but I also understand that term aggressive can apply. We have to stop pretending like aggressive is just so far-fetched for people because they are Black women. No. And being a Black woman, I'm sorry, I understand passion. I understand assertiveness. I understand most Black women's lived experiences. And that's revealing a lot about myself right now. I understand your lived experiences. I understand what can make you hard. I understand what can make you aggressive or protective or defensive. I totally get it. But what I'm saying is those are defense mechanisms and they don't help you in your real life or in the real world. They don't. They hold you back from opportunities, from developing relationships that could be beneficial. And if you don't want to hear that, then you don't want to live a better life. So when you don't allow yourself to be vulnerable and you don't want to be surrounded by people who can check you and say, hey, babe, listen, this is not going well because you are X, Y, and Z. Or if you could please try to think before you speak. Can you imagine saying to somebody that's always aggressive, hey, listen, I understand, but I want to give you a heads up. People are concerned that you may be aggressive. They're going to fly off the handle. So there's this delicate balance you have to find as that friend who can speak to maybe one of your sisters, one of your coworkers, and say, I'm not liking how you showing up, babe. I'm not liking how you showing up. Should be something that we can openly speak to each other about. Because if you're a Black woman who's playing the corporate game, certain things you got to do until you're no longer playing the corporate game. But while you are, we would like to not be seen as the aggressive Black woman, the one with the attitude, the one you got to tiptoe around, the one you can't approach and correct. But on the other end of that, I also understand how Black women can develop this type of personality. Especially, I just saw a jobs report that Black women were the most affected by the administration and the layoffs of the government jobs and Doge cleaning up things. Absolutely, Conceited. Thank you and welcome back. Please, as a man, I would love to hear your opinion on this for sure. But I did recently see that Black women were the most affected by this administration change and changes to the government layoffs, etc. But if you're playing the corporate game, you still want to be in it, just to get your bread at the minimum, and to keep the roof over your head until you can choose something else or move away from traditional American work life and start a business or move abroad, whatever your goals are, you have to keep in mind what the world is going to think of you, and keep in mind the women that come up after you. You have to keep that in mind. It's very important. Women are friendly to those who they deem worthy. Agreed. And there's such a broad spectrum, because number one, if you're too pretty, you're going to be annihilated by some Black women, like Cassie. If you're too successful, you're going to be annihilated by some Black women. If you're not saying what they want to hear, they won't be friendly to you. So that is absolutely, I believe you 100%. Women are friendly to those who they deem worthy. Yep. And I've had so many encounters recently that are just opposite of my experience with Black women. I'm used to women complimenting me, you look nice, but recently I've had such horrible encounters, and I don't know if there's a shift happening overall or I've just ran into a few bad apples. But I love that interaction with Black women where we loving on each other, we see each other, you look nice, oh, you look beautiful too, sis. That invigorates me. That gives me life. And to not have that amongst so many, and it could have been a bad day, but it's happening too often. And for other women too, that I'm like, something is up. The girls are turning on one another. I hate to say that. I think this is true. I think this is 100% true. And I hate that feeling, because I absolutely adore and love being around, engaging with Black women, but it's starting to be more of a headache and more of a liability if you're going to treat me this way. And I believe my life's purpose and the only thing I focus on and care about is leaving this world and our community better than I found it, contributing positively to growth and life and peace and harmony for my community, especially young Black girls coming up in the world. I think that is the most important thing you can do. And so I have this coworker who's so hard to interact with because she's always snippy and always biting off people's heads that I don't engage with her at all. Because number one, I protect my peace. I really am very careful what I consume because I know the world can be so cruel and is so cruel to Black women. I understand the experiences that Black women have had. I've had them myself. But I'm overly sensitive about what I consume because I know you can become that one that you can't approach, that one that nobody wants to talk to, the one that gets away with saying so much because nobody wants to do this back and forth contentious thing with her. But what does that do? I think it's so selfish too, because what does that do to Black women who already have it hard in corporate America, who want to come up on the corporate ladder, but you being the face of Black women, like I said earlier, that's just the way society has set it up. You being the face of Black women in our team because nobody else wants to interact with you when you start talking at all because you're extremely condescending. How does that help Black women who want to come up behind you? It is so apt. And today I asked this person a question. I'm not a lead, but I led a meeting. And this person brutally checked out early from the meeting, like logged off from the meeting, didn't say bye, didn't say anything. So I sent a message. I said, listen, there was a lack of participation. I want to make sure that you feel welcomed when I'm hosting the meeting. Are you okay? So she texts back and said, I didn't feel well. This is all, I'm doing this through corporate messaging, right? She texts back and she said, I don't feel well. And I said, oh, I'm sorry you don't feel good, but I hope you feel better. And I miss hearing your voice. I miss hearing your voice because I know you often share or you like to share whatever I said. It was extremely friendly, but it was just like, hey, I noticed you didn't check in today. You weren't participating. So what she wrote back to me was, I did talk. I said something very early, but I did talk. Okay, so now I see the defensiveness coming out. So I said, okay, great. I'm just glad that I just wanted to make sure that you feel welcomed in the setting. If you think there's a different structure that I can have, because I'm newly hosting these client meetings. So I said, if you think there's a different structure, but I really just wanted to check in to make sure you felt welcomed and you have found space to talk if you wanted to share. And she said, I did talk. I talked earlier, but I definitely did talk. And I'm like, I don't understand where you're saying I did. Where did I say you didn't talk? I used a traditional colloquialism. I used something traditional where I said, I miss your voice today. And you came back defensive and hot. And I said, I don't know where you saw that I didn't say you didn't talk. And then she called me. No, baby. Say it in the chat. Say it in the chat. Because I know I'm very smart to how manipulative these women can be. So I'm not about to get on the phone with you so you can say XYZ. Plus, even if you don't say XYZ to somebody else in the end, I'm concerned that you're just not somebody I want to be on the phone with. I don't want to talk to you. Talk to you about what? If you're not friendly to everybody else, why would I think you're going to be friendly to me? Or you're going to hop on the phone and talk about somebody? I'm not interested in that either. So I didn't even take the call, but I'm glad I did. And it inspired me to make this video because after the interaction with the Black woman at the cash register, after the interaction with this coworker, the multiple interactions with this coworker, I am just not interested in hearing Why? I'm not interested in hearing why. I'm interested in you doing better, being accountable, being self-aware, and showing up different because of the overarching goal. The overarching goal in my life is not me. The overarching goal in nobody's life should be them. Your life's purpose does not include you alone. So I don't want to hear excuses. I don't. But when you present like this, like think about the woman at the cash register that I described earlier, who was very friendly before I walked up to the register. She was extremely friendly with the two Hispanic women that were before me. When I got to the register, she did not speak to me at all. I had to initiate the conversation. I said, "How are you?" "I'm fine." "No, how are you?" "No, and you?" No, none of that. She didn't ask me how I was doing. That could have been a bad day. But based on the interactions that I've been having, that I've taken off the rose-colored glasses for the Black women that I've encountered in my life. I can't give everybody the excuse that it's a bad day. And I'm not saying other people, other demographics aren't having this same issue when it comes to interactions that I'm having, but the women that I expect to receive love from, the women that I'm used to, like, "Oh, girl, hey, girl, you look cute, girl, I like this, girl, I like your hair, I like your eyebrows, I like whatever." I'm not having those interactions anymore, and I'm trying to figure out what is happening. And I hate to be one that says that I believe what Conceited is saying here in the chat. I don't think I'm gonna make my lunch date. But I enjoy chatting with y'all, so I really don't care. But I'm definitely not gonna make that lunch date. I'm enjoying chatting with y'all, but where's a good brush for my under eye powder? Here we go. I hate to say that Conceited is likely right, but the girls don't seem to be friendly. Okay, this is the other problem. The other problem is my girlfriend, my really close girlfriend, is very specific about the demographic of Black women that are not friendly. And it's slightly older than me. It's Alexa, how old is Nene Leakes?
Nene Leakes is 58 years old.
Nene is 58. The woman at the register who was ringing out the Hispanic women and unfriendly to me was probably late 40s, early 50s. The woman I work with who had this horrible attitude is mid 50s. A lot of the trauma that has come from our community that people are talking about now and vocal about now has come from that generation. And I don't know, I think I might be a different generation than them. 50 plus, right? A lot of the trauma that people are comfortable talking about now is coming from that age group of Black women. And let me tell you, Conceited said that generation sold false bill of goods to the next generation. Yeah. We were watching the Nene Leakes show on YouTube, and she had another YouTuber on there, Michelle ATLian. She's a vet in the celebrity reporting game, Michelle ATLian. She has a website. She does YouTube live streams about absolutely. Absolutely. The men have not been absolved of the havoc, the absolute havoc that people are talking about now that has, listen, if we were to be honest, there is something that happened. I'm not blaming the women because our society as a whole is very, very screwed. But there is something with that generation of Black women that are 50 plus, under 80. They are not, I can't put it into words. I wish I could put it into words, but I absolutely cannot. They've done damage to the men. They've done damage to the women. And like I was talking about Nene Leakes and Michelle A.T. Alien, we were watching Nene Leakes' first show, and she had Michelle A.T. Alien, and they're about the same age. I would think Michelle is in her 50s, late 40s, and Nene is 58. They were so vile. They were so vile to Kandi about her Broadway debut of Othello, and Othello being the highest grossing Broadway play. Like, Kandi broke records, and they were sure to say, oh, there were 10 producers on the play. Oh, there were so many. It was so nasty, and it wasn't fun shade. I understand Nene Leakes is a housewife. I understand the personality that probably takes. This was not fun shade, because it's always this group of Black women, this 50 to 80-year-old Black women. There's another very brilliant Black woman that I follow who lives outside of the country, but she's a Black American woman. She does a lot of travel content. And she says, I want to host a group travel, but I cannot have that 40 plus Black women in my group. She said, absolutely not. I would not do it with y'all. They are mean. They are mean. And I've been blessed to have an amazing mother who taught me to be just beautiful human being. And I have a daughter I'm raising I was brought up to not rely on anyone. Can't say it hindered me. Grateful for that. Yes. Independence is beautiful. Absolutely. I don't think conceited is saying don't depend on anyone. But I think what conceited, Nevaeh, I don't think conceited is saying independence is wrong. I think conceited is saying what we were taught as Black women was something different than independence. And I wasn't taught that. I think we were taught as a community is this avoidance of partnership, this avoidance of interaction, this avoidance of, hi, Nevaeh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. No, please. He's saying that their main existence is independence. And I think to be protective of yourself and to be independent and self-sufficient, like Nevaeh is saying, is brilliant and beautiful. But I think there's been opposition to partnership is what happened in our community. And that is the issue. There's opposition to being a partner. And that has created and like, what's the word when something's like bubbling over? I don't know the word. That opposition to partnership and that hyper independence makes you a horrible partner, but it also makes you a horrible friend, horrible in the community, horrible at work. You can't interact with anybody. And it's the equality versus equity argument. This subset of Black women, I have finally, I was saying earlier about my mother. I've been blessed to have an amazing mother who's very kind, very friendly. Everybody in my family would be like, I love your mother. Your mom's the nicest person. And I love that. And she raised me to be a kind mother who just encourages my daughter and loves on her and builds her up. And when I'm in the community, I also want to see my daughter being that same way with women. And it's just so hard to watch women who I see, who I want to win, have this always mean-spirited personality type. And it's like, it's almost type for Black women 50 to 80 years old. I'm sorry, y'all. I see my Wi-Fi is starting to bang up. Let me cut the Wi-Fi off on my phone. Hopefully we can get a strong signal so you all can hear me clearly. Nevaeh says, I think that's because boys are raised differently to girls. Then that transpires and shapes us as adults. You're absolutely right. Conceited says, but boys and girls should be raised differently because they are different. Yes. But we need to be raised in a way. I mean, it's too late now. We're in the middle of the gender war. Hopefully it can be resolved and people can come together and understand the importance of partnership. I think partnership is so frowned upon, but we also have to take into account that a lot of these women, and that's why I have to be gentle with my messaging, because a lot of these women have been hardened by life. And once you're set at 50 to 80 years old, that's it. And what do the rest of us have to do? Do we just have to, because you see these videos on TikTok where the grandmother is like wild with her words, wildly abusive with their words, the things that they say. And it's not fair, but at the same time, you have to show a bit of compassion, because what do you do? And let me tell you something. Nevaeh, they were. The group of women that I'm talking about, they were. A lot of these women have partners who have left or died, because we know Black men do die very early in their life. They have a shorter life expectancy due to health and wellness than Black women. But a lot of these women have partners who added to their hardness. And that trickled down to the way they raise their daughters. And that trickled down to the way they raise their sons. Or imagine if you're a woman who, was raised 50 years ago, 40 years ago. You have a man that left, a daughter that needs to step up, and a daughter that you think is fast. And you then have a son who can now play your husband. These are so intricate. That's why I'm very kind when I talk about these kind of things, because I know there are so many dynamics that go into making someone this person that, you can't really just say, oh, this is it. Conceited says, Nevaeh, I think the opposite sex should be brought in on what is said and told to the other side. It brings more understanding, not agreement, which is okay. Agreed. And that's why gender roles are so profoundly divisive and detrimental to partnerships when you grow up. Conceited says, I have twins, boy and girl. Okay. I give them opposite messages, but always explain to them why it's different for the other side. Absolutely. Prepare them for society. And then Conceited also says, Nevaeh, but if you know how, why should it matter unless they refuse to learn it all? I think Nevaeh is talking about in a partnership. She wants somebody. Oh, yeah, agree. Nevaeh is absolutely right. Nobody wants to be a mother. And some of these men Conceited, and some of these men are in need of a parent. Absolutely, some of these men are in need of a parent. It might not be you or your tribe, right? It may not be you or your tribe, but some of these men, we're gonna keep it real, Conceited. We got to keep it real. Some of these brothers need a mother. Or, there are Black women who are raising boys as their husbands, as their partners. And y'all know this coffee cold, don't judge me. Ooh, conceited, listen. No, being the provider is not being the dad. No. Maybe that's where men are getting it wrong. And maybe that's where you need to have a conversation with men about being a provider. That does not equate to father at all. No, those are different roles. Being a provider, being a husband, being a father, being a friend are all different roles. It's not just lumped together. And I think that's where you have to understand it is cold, babe. Conceited, you have to understand that. Let me bring your comment. What role equates to mother roles? Do you think the mother and the wife have the same identity? This may be the problem, because if men are thinking that they only have to show up as one character in their household or in their life, that's the problem. Because me as a mother, I'm a different person than I was to my ex-husband, than I am to my neighbor, than I am to the UPS person, than I am at work. I have to take on different responsibilities and become different people. Essentially, not, but I do have to take on different responsibilities and be different people. If a man thinks that his overarching role is just father to everybody, that's the problem. That's the problem. Father is not an overarching role. You walk in the door, you can't be father. You have to turn it on and off. Your father for your children, your husband to me, your provider to the household, your leader to your community. Nevaeh says, so what role equates to mother role? The one where I have to mother the child, conceited. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of men walk in the door and they just want to be father provider, which is the comment you made earlier. No. But I think this is what, we're getting into the conversation we had last time when you were on the show, when I had the live 2 days ago. There has to be more for men to understand how to show up in different roles. Men have this overarching idea of being a man. And for women, we're overperforming for men who have one act. It's like you're the character in the play and you only show up as one person, and the woman on the other side of the play who is, interacting with you, she goes out, she changes to be the mother. She goes out, she changes to be the wife. She goes out, changes to be the friend. She goes out and changes to be the coworker. This is what I'm saying. And men are just showing up. And that's why women are saying there is no equity in these relationships, because men don't understand how to be a different person. And then Nevaeh says, there should be gender roles. Agreed. Knowing how to cook, for instance, should not be a gender specific role. I love a man who cooks. We're getting off topic, but let me tell you, I love a man who cooks. That's my first thing. Baby, can you cook? Nevaeh says this is 1950. Hey, Shelly Shell. And she says, I wonder when the disconnect between men and women happened. We're trying to get into that, because I've had so many interactions with very hardened Black women that I understand their experience, but I also want to, because my channel is about living well, I want to help them elevate past that part of their life, right? So I like to have the conversation. Nevaeh says, hey, Shelly Shell. Conceited. Shelly, would it start? Shelly, I would say it started around the mid 70s, late 80s. Shelly says, hey to Nevaeh. Conceited says, but when men try to do multiple things, they are labeled controlling, narcissistic, and toxic. Oh, listen, this is their fault. If you show up as my husband and you also show up as a controlling husband or a narcissist husband or a toxic husband, that's your fault. There are ways to be a husband that don't include being these things. But you as the man have to find that balance. You as the man has to be vulnerable and listen to what your partner's saying. There's nothing wrong with being a vulnerable male or being one that shows emotion or being one that shows joy. I think my marriage broke down. I mentioned this, I think, in the last live. My marriage broke down because my husband was so focused on being manly, he couldn't express joy. He couldn't express like being jovial. Nobody in the household, none of me nor the children, got joyful from him. And he would do everything. He paid all the bills. He didn't cheat. He wasn't like out all night. He was, if you're a woman that accepts whatever, he was probably the perfect partner. But for me, I need happiness. I need you to be happy when you come home. If you're not, let me excuse myself. Right? And Nevaeh says it's not enough just to show up. And that's exactly what I explained about my ex-husband. He just showed up. And he was there and he was loyal and he was paying the bills, but he just showed up. There was nothing else. We couldn't have conversations that led to resolve. We couldn't be happy for too long. It was always just this one. That's it. That's all you got was me. I show up and I don't cheat and I pay the bills. Shelly Shell. So the husband does what the wife says. That sounds like mothering. No, it's a partnership. She's not telling you what to do. She's telling you what she needs. She's telling you what she needs. And in turn, she listens to what you need, right? It's not that anybody wants to mother you. This is a partnership. So that's where the emotional maturity comes in for men. The emotional maturity to understand that, why am I trying to label what's happening instead of being a part of what's happening? And I'm not blaming you Conceited, but I'm saying this is where men can probably level up. It's not, you're focused on labeling what's happening instead of just showing up to what's happening. You're like, is this prom? Is this homecoming? Is this a quinceañera? Is this whatever? Who cares? Get dressed and show up. Let's go. It's going to be a time. We're about to have a time. So Shelly Shell says, I truly believe both genders are traumatized or something, especially now in today's society, and no one is doing anything about it. I absolutely was traumatized. I had a partner or a friend that I met, and he said, are you asking me questions to get to know me? Or are you asking me questions to just eliminate me? Because I don't think you're even interested in getting to know me. I think you're looking for a way to eliminate me from your dating pool. And I was like, whoa, that was profound. Nobody had read me like that for a long time. But that takes vulnerability. And that's another, are you friendly? And that really opened me up because I am a friendly woman in public, in the streets, but I am closed off to being hurt again. But that man's message to me was like, huh? He was like, I don't think any of these questions you're asking me are organic, Lonnie. You are asking me questions to eliminate me. You don't even want to get to know me. I don't even know why you're dating. You don't want to get to know anybody. You want to weed them out. I was like, whoa. So man telling woman equals control, but women telling me partnership. No, you can tell me what you need, Conceited. No one is saying that. I appreciate your comments, and I think you're a brilliant man, and I like that you're showing up trying to understand. I think it's mutual conversations and compromising. Absolutely. And Nevaeh was adding Conceited in that. Shelly Shell, this is a great platform. It's an amazing discussion. It's definitely a conversation that needs to be had. Agreed. Shelly Shell says, wow. And here go my boy Conceited. Damn, I have to use that. Will he mind if I steal that? You know what? I'm taking it back. So run the tape back, delete it, edit it. It's gone. Okay? You can't have it. Yeah, Shelly Shell, that was deep. Nevaeh says, nothing wrong with weeding. I agree. But am I even interested in dating, I think was the problem. You don't even want to date. You just want to get on here and pick people apart. Get off the app. Get off the app. You don't want to talk to anybody. You don't want to get to know anybody. You just want to get on here and pick people apart. And I was like, okay, you might be right. Let me shut up and sit down. Not trying to waste time. Agreed. This has been an amazing discussion, y'all. I gotta finish my makeup and I'm supposed to be gone already. Shelly Shell, be sure to subscribe. I will be back. And Conceited, let's read the last few comments. I like it that we can voice our opinion and no one gets offended and are willing to understand everyone's reasoning. That's rare, especially online with strangers. Agreed. Yay, us. This is a mature conversation that I absolutely love. You know what? The next time I come on live, please subscribe. Please turn on notifications. I love y'all all so much. I will put the link in the chat. You don't have to get on camera. But if you want to come up and talk instead of typing, we can absolutely do that. And come up. Ooh, Shelly Shell. Hold on. Not you reading me, child. Hey, let me tell you something. Shelly Shell, please don't come on my channel and read me. No, ma'am. Okay. Yeah, y'all are going too far now. So I think we're gonna end this chat because why would Shelly say that? Who team is you on, girl? Shelly, like, I'm trying to help. Oh, there you go. It's me. Yes, because we be like, the men out here is trash. And whole time you like, oh, you're not perfect? I don't want it. You don't make 6 figures, 6 feet? I don't want it. I just go random, but I'm gonna try to do it at 5. Most of the days too. Okay, Shelly's like, it's for me too. So Conceited is asking, what's my live schedule? I'm gonna try 5 o'clock. Get the baby home at 4 something, get her a snack, and then 5 o'clock. I'm gonna try. But turn on notifications. Definitely subscribe. I am excited to talk to y'all too. I love this because I think we can really have great conversations. Y'all remind me if you see me on live and I haven't posted the link for you to click and come up and chat too and talk. It's easier to talk. And I think we can have like 10 people at a time. And then in the evenings, once I'm done with my work schedule, I'm free. So we can chit chat, have grown up conversations. And I really love this interaction with y'all. So I'll see you later. I got to go get ready. I'm going to be late. Oh, wait. 5 p.m. works for me most days. I've enjoyed finding this channel. Thank you so much. And if you have a channel that you want us to subscribe to, anybody that's watching, or if you're watching the replay, let me know you watch the replay. But if you're a creator and you have a channel, I don't mind if you put that in the chat. We can support each other. That goes for Nevaeh. Oh, it's 1 p.m. here it's 7 p.m. there. Where are you? Nevaeh says it's 7 p.m. I'm in Chicago, so I'm giving y'all Central time. It's 5 p.m. Chicago time, y'all. So please, if you have something we can support, I'm not messy. You're in London. Okay. Nevaeh's in London, y'all. Gotta be England. Wow, you knew right away. That's crazy. Okay, so 5 p.m. your time. Oh my goodness, that would be like 11 p.m. for you. That's 4 hours from now. I'll try to do these midday shows too. What's today? Wednesday we'll do how about this? Wednesday we'll do a midday show. Monday and Friday we'll do a 5 p.m. show. And then I'll pop on weekends whenever. But I'm so excited we got to chat. Y'all did my makeup with me. It ain't finished, but I'm gonna be late either way. I appreciate y'all. This has been amazing. And please, if you have a commuting home and listening to that, amazing. Thank you. If you have something we can support, put it in the comment section. I'll update the description with the time postings so y'all know when to try to catch me. But we'll do Monday, Fridays, 5 p.m. Wednesday, we'll try to do a midday show. And bye, Nevaeh. Bye, Conceited. Bye, Shelly Shell, and everyone else who stayed to watch. Feel free to always comment. We're always friendly in here. Have a good day. Bye.